Hi everyone, welcome to the last video of this course. So as you know, we're close to the end of this JTON. I hope you really enjoyed this class, and I also hope that you have learned something from this course, and things you learned from this course hopefully could be beneficial for you in the future in your career. So in the last lectures, we're going to talk about the International Olympic Governance. So we mainly talked about some governance issues in the Olympic sports. So in the lecture 10, as you can see, we're going to talk about things like we're going to review some of the history of the Olympic movements, and also we're going to talk about the five main governing bodies, the Olympic movement, which is include IOC, which is International Olympic Committee. So their job is to oversee the Olympic movement, the entire world, and also they're mainly responsible for putting the Olympic Games together. So they're setting the city to host the summer and winter games. Now we also have Youth Olympic Games, the Winter Youth Olympic Games currently ongoing in Switzerland right now. So this is the IOC, and we're going to spend a little bit more time to talk about IOC's governance, including the sanctions, executive board, and the role of the presidents, right? And then we'll talk about international federations. International federations that mainly overseeing one particular sports in the international stages. So one of the very well-known example is the FIFA, right? FIFA is overseeing how soccer has been developed in the world. FIFA is also on one of the most well-known international sports event, which is the FIFA World Cups. Right, we're also going to talk about NOC, which is the National Olympic Committee. Right, NOC is basically oversee the Olympic movements in one particular countries. So one of the example is the USOPC, is the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee. So they oversee how the Olympic sport and Paralympic sport has been developed in the United States. And also we know this year is the Tokyo Olympic Games. So USOPC also will be responsible for selecting the Olympic team that represent the United States competed at the international stage at the Olympic Games. Right, we also have an NGB, which is national governing bodies. So national governing bodies is basically talking about this one particular governing body that oversee the particular sports development in that particular market. So one of the examples is like USA Soccer. USA Soccer obviously is oversee how soccer has been developed in the United States, right? So USA Soccer also has some sort of like connection with the USOPC because we talk about USOPC is responsible for organizing the Team USA that compete at the Olympic Games. So USA Soccer will be responsible for selecting both men's soccer team and women's soccer team, and that will be competing in the Olympic Games, right? So USA Soccer also have a close connection with the FIFA because both men and women USA national teams also have to compete at the competition organized by FIFA, which is including the FIFA World Cup, Men's World Cup, and FIFA Women's World Cups. Right, so national governing body normally have a pretty close connections with the NOC and also International Federation. Last but not the least, a very important governing body of the Olympic movement is called OCOG's Organizing Committee of the Olympic Games. Look at the name, what they're mainly doing is they're mainly responsible for putting these Olympic Games together. Right, so normally if the city win the right to host the Olympic Games, IOC normally collaborated with the NOC, National Governing Body, National Olympic Committee, to organize things called Organizing Committee. So their job is basically deliver the Olympic Games, making sure the Olympic Games to be hosted very successfully. As we talk about the Olympic issues, we're going to talk about three main issues. One is related to the Olympic bidding process, how the bidding process has been utilized. So they go through multiple different stages, and the bidding process has also been reformed recently due to some corruption concerns. So we're going to spend some time to talk about that. And also we're going to talk about the youth generations engagement. We talk about one of the problems for the Olympic Games is they try to trigger the interest among the younger generations, particularly like you guys, right? So what strategy does IOC has been implied in order to reach out to the younger generation is also other things we're going to talk about in this class. And also we talk about doping control policies and how IOC has been collaborated with different governing bodies like WADA, World Anti-Doping Agency, to work together to try to prevent athletes from using performance-enhancing drug to improve that performance during the Olympic Games. Right, so we're going to talk about some of the issue. There are a couple of readings I want you to read. Economy of hosting the Olympic Games. A lot of concern about hosting Olympic Games costs a lot of money. It's not worth it. But Olympic Games in the past has a very good tradition of helping the city to promote themselves internationally. So that's also the pretty big discussion right now at this point, and whether a city need to spend so much taxpayers' money to host such a major events like the Olympic Games. Right, and also a second reading is about the textbook, chapter 10. Make sure you read the textbook. And also we're going to talk about some good governance in the international sports organizations. Right, and the video, we have two videos for you to watch. And the first one is talk a little bit more about Olympic structure. The second one is more focusing on all these policy areas. And here, when you're watching the video, it's a PowerPoint. I'm also providing here and help you to understand a little bit more about the Olympic movements. So the last assignment for you to do in this class is online discussion 4. Right, online discussion 4. Well, basically for these assignments, I will give you the opportunity to think about, if you're currently IOC members, you're having the opportunity to add one Olympic sport, one sport to the 2028 Los Angeles Olympic Games. What sport would you be added there, right? So, so why are you adding this sport? I currently IOC has 33 Summer Olympic sports. So in addition to the 33 Olympic sport, what else do you think should be included in the 2028 Los Angeles Olympic Games? I hope you can think about from the history, from how many members, and talk about the values and popularity of these sports and business model, how these sports can benefit the Olympic Games. Right, so I want you to go and think about and have that discussions on that. So this is the last online discussion. Again, I'll give you 2 days to complete. First day on Wednesday, and I hope that you guys can start to share your idea, opinion, 250 words to share about your opinion, ideas. Right, do some research and write a pretty good statements here and why you chose these sports. Look at the history, talk a little bit about all these issues that we discussed here in the class. The first thing. And the second thing we are going to do is you have to go and respond to another student's answers. On the second day, on Thursday, you can go and look at how other people's idea may be different from what you have thought about it, and then you can have some sort of like a discussion. You think, hey, they come up with a great idea, why we should include this sport, because these sports really can help grow of the awareness of the Olympic Games. Okay, this is the last assignment that you have to do in this class. Right. In addition to that, as I mentioned, we will have the final exam. So I will make the final exam available today on Wednesday. So the final exam will be available until Saturday at midnight. So basically the last minute of this course, right? So I'll give you 3 or 4 days to think about when will be the good time for you to do this final exam. So for the final exam, as I mentioned previously, so all the questions are coming from the previous quizzes. So what you have to do, you just go back to look at all the quizzes you did in these classes, making sure that you remember all the answers before you start working on the final exam. It's super easy. So that's no study guides you need for this exam, right? So you were given 2 hours to complete the final exam. Final exam is a closed book because you have all the questions, right? So it's closed book exam. So the final exam will basically have about, we say 30 multiple choice questions, and then we will have a 1 case study and 2 short answers. So make sure you prepare really well and review all the questions that I have included in the quizzes. So this is the final exam, closed book. When you're decided to do the final exam, making sure you're going to find a place where you have a very stable internet, right? You're giving 2 hours to complete the exam when the start, and you would just have to completely focusing on the exam. And when the exam's over, just submit it on Canvas. So this is about the final exam. Second thing you have to do. So the last thing that you have to, I hope you can also complete the course evaluation for this class. This is the first time for me to put this class online. So I want to get some feedback from you. What do you think about these courses? How was your experiences when you're taking these courses? Give me some feedback, give me some suggestion. Let me know how I can improve on in the future. So I really appreciate your help. All right, I'm really enjoy having you in this class. Although we don't have the opportunity to meet with each other, but I've been receiving a lot of email from you, and I get to know you a little bit through the answer you share with us on the online discussions and on your assignments. So it's been wonderful to have you in this class. I hope you enjoy this J10 course. So hopefully we will meet each other on campus in the future. So again, we still have some time in this course, right? If you have any question, don't hesitate. Please shoot me an email. Let me know what I can help you with in this course, or maybe in other things. Okay, that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoy these J10s, and also I look forward maybe to having you in the future in the courses, like in other courses in this at Miami. All right, see you guys later. Good luck on the exams.